Hi everyone, it's Heidi from flutterbyheidi.co.uk and I'm Heidi Smith. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator based here in the United Kingdom, and today, for those of you who watch my videos, I haven't actually got a sample to show you. I'm just going to share with you what I do when I just haven't got time to prep my sample before I go and share with you. So what I'm doing today is I'm creating a little care package for a friend of mine who just needs a bit of cheering up, and so basically I've come up with a design, and this is what I do when I'm working out my designs. I will often create a template out of just ordinary paper and then take it from there. So in this instance it's just a little gift box that I'm going to use, and I'm just going to show you creating it from scratch. So let's see how it goes. I've decided because of the sentiment I'm going to use the Dress to Impress. This is a little card I made a while ago, so that's perfect. I'm just going to use that as my little card. And I'm adding a little hand cream, a little candle. So I want a sort of a tallish box that I can pop some things in. So that's what I'm going to be making. One of the things, like most of us, when we're obviously sat in the evening, perhaps we're all getting a little bit stir crazy, but actually I spent a bit of time doing a bit of mindfulness and a bit of cutting out. So I used the gorgeous Best Dressed Designer Series paper, which has these lovely images on it. So great shoes and handbags and lipsticks, and so I just cut out a sheet of each. So they're 6x6 sheets, but they've got lovely images on them, and I just thought they're perfect. So I've cut a load out that I can use to decorate. So let's get started. As I've said, I often do this, particularly I work in 3D, but I sometimes, rather than waste my good card, I'll just work it out on a piece of paper first, which you can see here. So I've just done heavy lines, marked out my shading where I'm cutting away, and I've made a note of my measurements as well. So I'm going to use this paper here because it's kind of feminine treats. I just thought it would work really well with this kind of brush image. It's a shame because on the other reverse is this lovely floral image, so I am torn about using it, but I kind of went, I'm going to use this one on this side. So that'll be what I'm going to decorate it with. And my box itself is designed to be cut out of either UK or US A4 cardstock. So the piece I'm going to use is 28 by 21 centimetres, so 11 by 8¼ I'll work in centimetres for today. I'll put the inches measurements on my blog as usual, and all I would say is on the 8¼ if you're in the US, don't bother trimming it to 8¼ leave it at 8½, just gives you a little bit more overlap to work with. So let's trim this down to my 28 centimetres. And let's get started. So we are going to score on the long edge at 4 centimetres, 9, and at 23. And then on the shorter edge, with the shortest bit at the top, I'm just going to score every 5 centimetres. So that is at 5, at 10, at 15, and at 20. So it just leaves you a centimetre. I will need my trimmer a bit later to do my decorating panels, but we'll work with that when we get to it. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to trim away. So I'm cutting away the skinny panel at the bottom here, and I'm cutting away these pieces up here as well. And on this first panel, I'm just going to come in probably about 1 centimetre and cut across. So these are going to be my flaps that are going to tuck in. So whilst you could leave them the full width, it just takes a little bit of the bulk away. So I'm just cutting down that first one. This next one I'm going to leave complete. So you're just going to cut straight down on the side there. This one is going to be the same as the first one, so we're just going to cut about 1 centimetre away from the score line, which is just there, and cut straight down. What I didn't do is fold and burnish my score lines, which I probably would have done first. And then this last one is going to be cut away completely. So it's probably not quite how I've done it, because I just realised I've left my join on the front, which I wouldn't normally, but hey, keep your scraps because we'll probably use those shortly, because normally I would leave that join at the back, but I haven't, so let's just go with it. I'm going to fold and reinforce these. So I suppose the downside is you're going to have to watch till the end to see whether you like what I'm making. Hey, maybe it'll improve my viewing figures. On the bottom here, just cut all 4 up together. So if you don't want that join where I've got it, which normally be at the back, what you actually want to do is leave that one complete and take out this one, but it really won't matter, honestly. We will get there. As these are just going to tuck in at the top, I'm just going to take the tiniest little sliver off the side there. Okay. So how this is going to close, I'm actually going to use my tag topper punch. So these are just the perfect size, and I'm just going to fold those out of the way and push this in all the way. If you're not sure whether you have, just turn it over and have a look. But you'll just find that sits in there and punch. And that's going to create our little closure on the top there. Now we need to cut some pieces of designer series paper for layers. And I'm actually going to use, I think, probably some, maybe the mint macaron with that. What do we think? Yeah, let's go for it. Okay, so mint macaron layers. You're going to want at least 3 of these. You could do the back as well if you wanted. And you're going to cut at 13.8 centimetres, and then you're going to cut 3 pieces. So we cut 13.8 first, and then I'm going to want 3 pieces which are 4.8. So, and you want 4 if you're going to cover the back panel as well. If you're just going to do the front 3, then obviously 3 will be fine. Then we'll want another piece which is just 4.8 square. I'm not sure I like this crafting without having a sample to show you. You see, I always do this bit I do in the privacy of my own home without sharing. This video, of course, may never see the light of day. Then this, I'm going to cut my DSP to 13.5 centimetres. Like so. And I'm going to cut now some layers at 4.5. So on the inches, you'll find that I'm doing, I will do these as just 1/8 of an inch. There we go. So there's 3 layers, and then a second piece. Okay, yes, I cut it at 13.5 first. and then at 4.5. And I'll cut a second one at 4.5, and that one I'll just trim down to 4.5 square. So, don't think I cut that one very square, but never mind. So, now what we're going to do is add our layers of DSP. So just add those layers onto the card. So again, this is back to our create the layers before we put our box together. Just makes life easier for you really when you're creating. It just makes it a little bit easier to get everything squarer and get it neat. She says, I really do struggle with getting things square, as you've probably noticed. Okay. Hope you're all keeping well. Oh, I didn't cut that one very square, that's for certain. Okay, that might be going on the back, that particular one. Interesting times for everyone at the moment, certainly. I hope you're managing to get a bit of crafting done. I felt so much better after I just sat and done some cutting out. I didn't think about anything. I have to say, my husband was watching a documentary on something that wasn't particularly interesting for me in the evening. So I thought, right, I'm not going to sit here and just watch it for the sake of it. So let's, I decided to crack on with doing a bit of mindful cutting out. Nothing like a bit of fussy cutting to create a bit of respite from everything at the moment. I'll put this dodgy panel on the back there where I clearly haven't cut something very straight. Yeah, I'm perhaps still not sure about this mix, we'll see. I can't even add glue straight today. God blimey. Still, it is a fun paper, this one. There we go. As I hope you're all keeping well. My family are busy. I've got people in retail and public transport, so I'm the only one who's actually at home all the time at the moment, apart from going out to sort my mum out, who struggles with the start of dementia, so she's obviously not going out and about. Right, now I'm going to add some glue, some tape to the sides. I would have used my tear and tape, only I have, there it is. Just be careful because this is quite a narrow border, so you're going to need quite a narrow tape. Tear and tape is great for this. If you've got red tape, as you know, I often use that for my box making. So in this instance, just going to go. So here's our box. So I'm just going to add a bit of tape to the bottom there. Probably a second piece as well, actually, just to get a bit of security. And then the closure on this, which I hope is going to work. So this will be the test, won't it, of whether this works, whether this sees the light of day. And goodness knows how I'm doing on time. Okay, so what I'm going to do is that's going to fold down the front there. I just want to pop a little hole in there, which, as I say, perhaps would have been better. So let's pop a little mark. Okay, and all I'm going to do is I'm just working. There we go. Instead of using my scissors, I could have used a piercing tool. just created a hole there, and I figured that if I was able to, I could actually just not pop a brad or some ribbon through that, and that would just hook over. So, of course, now I've got to find some brads, which may be easier said than done, but perhaps not. Okay, so, in fact what I'll do, even easier, let's add my ribbon. So just pop that through, pop it in half. And just poke that through, and then with my pokey tool pull that through, and I'm just going to tie a little knot in the back there without pulling it all the way through. There we go. Okay, so that can then come to the front, which will enable me to pop my little gifts in there. So I've got a nice little hand cream and some remedies to roll, and then that will then pop through like so, and then all that's left is for me to decorate. So for that I'm going to grab my punch, like so. Let's add a sentiment. Can't find a block. There we go. Block. Sentiment. Ink. Okay. A bit of Whisper White would not go amiss. Let's have a look. Okay, so hello fabulous, perfect for this person. Add some tape to the back there, and then all I'm going to do is grab my various cutouts and just choose a couple of suitable images. So I could add a nice little bottle on the top there. Like so. I could add a image just there across the bottom. Add a couple of dimensionals. And there we have a quick bit of packaging all ready to go using the beautiful Dress to Impress. So there we go, different. Let me know how it works. I'm not sure it's going to work for me, not having a sample prepped in future. But hey, we've got to give these things a go. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to purchase any of these items, pop along to my shop, heidismith.stampinup.net, or to my blog and follow the links. And I hope you choose to shop with me as your demonstrator. Thanks for watching. Bye now.